So, I'm already on the broker. Let's start analyzing and start today's trade. I have $100 on my balance, and today I will open each trade for the maximum amount of my balance. We are trading on the minute. Time frame, and our expiry time is also 1 minute. You can adjust the expiry time in this window, which is called L quote time or quote, and find the best time for your trade based on your strategies. I have already analyzed the market for the last period of time, and in front of your eyes are presented all currency pairs with the most optimal character of movement and payout percentages, also based on. From the dynamics of the movement, I have selected the appropriate indicators, which will be the most optimal for today's trading. Today's bundle of indicators includes alligator with default settings and fractal with period 3 and maxim oscillator with these period settings. Today we will analyze the trend and open trades in the direction of the trend. Our main indicator is alligator, and we will work on its signals. Use the strategy of trading on corrections to the middle line. Our midline is marked in orange, and it's called L quote teeth or quote. What is the point of this strategy? The essence of the strategy in a trending market is that the price often returns to the middle line, after which it continues to move upwards. Accordingly, we will follow these indicators when opening a trade on the buy. In the trend movement should be a correction to the middle line, and already from it, as a rule, the further dynamics of the movement rushes upwards. For example, as it can be seen on the data. Plots of the movement. To minimize false signals, we add a fractal to determine the structural points of maximum and minimum, as well as an oscillator. MACD. When opening a trade on the upside or on the downside, it doesn't matter, we have to take into account that the volume should reach the average value. The average value we have is the area with the 0 mark, and as you can see, we have similar dynamics here. That is, there has been a correction to the midline and volumes have reached the average. Since the trend is upward, we record that the moving line and the oscillator signal line are above the average. Therefore, in this context, we can open a trade on the upside. We also have a structural low updated on the fractal, so this was a perfect buy signal. This is the logic that will be in today's strategy. I will explain each trade in detail. And I hope that by the end of today's video you will have as few questions as possible, or at best, there will be none left at all. I hope it will be as interesting and informative as possible. As a matter of fact, let's start trading and select the first currency pair for the most optimal opening of a trade. Let's get started. Let's probably open the first position on the upside on the trend. This is not an exact signal, but based on the dynamics, I see that we have a very confident upward trend. Now, and in general for this market, these conditions are acceptable. So the difference is that the pullback in the dynamics has gone a little bit lower. Nothing scary. In general, it is not always possible to catch the perfect entry point, so you need to add your own analysis. As we can see, the conditions for opening a trade generally suit us, and we see the emergence of rising volumes on the histogram and the crossing of the average value. Also, the moving line of the oscillator is above this average value, and so here, after such a rebound in the dynamics, in the form of 2 red candles, I preferred to open a position on the upside. And on the whole, I was absolutely right. Further position is opened also for the maximum balance amount. I hope I have explained everything clearly here. Let's continue and choose the next entry point. Here we will open a trade on the upside. The entry point was not long in coming, and it is here that we catch the touch. Our moving average at the alligator. Earlier, a structural local low was updated, and after such dynamics. After the pullback dynamics of the movement, we open a trade on the upside. A touchdown has occurred here. The moving line is above the average, and we have a good uptrend. the trend, so we will open a trade on the upside. Let's look at the result of our second position. About 10 seconds to close the trade. And the position at the last seconds closes in plus. The candlestick showed a fairly confident exit of the dynamics upwards, and the deal was closed in the plus. However, a little bit, of course, I picked up not quite. Optimal entry point, and literally would have been a couple more seconds and the deal I would have closed in the minus. But you have to understand my reasoning, right? That is, in general, I did not even assume that the dynamics of the movement we have here should. Going lower as the structural low on the fractal was updated. And as you can see, the exit to the upside ended up being very confident. So the logic of the entry we had here was also absolutely correct. Let's pick another entry point. Let's go ahead and pick the next currency pair. Once again on this currency pair, we can open a trade on the upside on the trend. We have already opened a position here. Unfortunately, I was not able to open a trade on the downside, so today we have there will be trades open to buy. In general, I think you have already understood the logic of entry. In these trades, of course, there was a touch of the lower moving line. Here, as you can see, the volumes have reached the average. Volumes are right now at this level, and the oscillator moving lines are pointing up. They're above the average, and that's a trend trade. We have an uptrend. Let's see the result. We are just in the last seconds, and it's such a tense moment for closing, but in any case, we are closing the position in the plus side. And as you can see, we are again seeing quite a nice upward exit at this candle. In general, I think you have understood the logic of opening trades, and plus or minus, what conditions to observe you have probably learnt too. Let's probably conclude on this result. Today's trading process. When opening trades on the downside, also follow the same logic, only open a sell trade. Let's lock in today's profit and move on to the conclusion. Choose a wallet. I always choose Tether TRC20. The amount of today's profit was $560. Insert the wallet address and Google Authenticator confirmation code. Great! The withdrawal operation is successfully completed. I have never had any problems with withdrawal on this broker. The money always came fast enough. Thank you all for watching. If you still have any questions, in the description under the video you can find a link to my Telegram. Go over, write me in a private message. Also, don't forget to join to our trader community. You can also find the link to the group in the description under the video. Have a good day and as many positively closed trades as possible.